Hello, everyone. Welcome to 10-Minute English with May. Today, we're going to talk about adjectives and adverbs. So, what are adjectives and adverbs? They are called modifiers because they are words that modify other words. So, an adjective modifies nouns and pronouns. Let's say there is a beautiful woman. So we know that the word beautiful is modifying the noun woman, and that makes it an adjective. What about a? And the, they are also adjective function word, but they're called articles or determiners, and some grammar books don't put them under the category of adjectives. But for the sake of simplifying grammar, let's just say it is an adjective function as well. All right, what about adverbs? Adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So let's say Bob runs quickly. The word quickly modifies the verb runs, and that makes it an adverb. And a lot of adverbs are actually adjectives plus ly. So quickly, slowly, beautifully, smoothly, so on and so forth. So in the heading, you can see that I label level 1 modifiers. So what does that mean? By level 1, I simply mean that these words are a single word. So what would be a level 2 modifier? It would be the phrases that we talked about in the previous lessons. So for example, a positive, a prepositional phrase, and a participle phrase, they would be level 2 modifiers. Positives, prepositional, and participle phrases. What about level 3? So we'll talk more about that later on, but a level 3 modifier is an adjective clause or an adverb clause. So by clause, I simply mean that it is something that contains subject verb. But whether it is level 2, level 1, or level 3, they all modify another word. So they are all modifiers. Right. So level 3. All right. So moving on to our example sentences. Let's try and single underline the adjectives and double underline the adverbs. All right. So in the first sentence, my cousin is extremely shy. We know that shy is modifying cousin, but there is actually another adjective function word in this sentence, and that is my. So what is my? It is what we call possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives modify the noun because it tells us who the noun belongs to. So my, your, his, her, its, or even words like apostrophe S, like Bob's car, right? Bob's would be possessive adjective. And adverb would be extremely. So you can see extremely, ly ending. Most ly ending words are adverb. Not all, but a lot of them. So extremely here is modifying an adjective shy. and that makes it an adverb. So let's move on to sentence number 2. During the hot summer, the house is unusually cool. So we know that hot is modifying summer and cool is modifying house. They're both adjectives because they modify nouns. And again, we see ly ending. So unusual is adjective and unusually is adverb. And this is modifying cool, so that makes it an adverb. So as you can see here in both sentences 1 and 2, whenever you have linking verbs like be verbs, you can have adjective after. We call this predicate adjective. So I'm going to write PA, predicate adjective, and it modifies the subject. Okay, so for example, you are tall. Tall is after linking verb are, so it's modifying the pronoun you. All right, number 3. The university awarded him a full academic scholarship. So we know is an article. It is adjective function, but let's ignore it for now. Academic is modifying scholarship. What about full? Is that an adjective or an adverb? So we have to be careful here. It is actually an adjective because we're talking about a full scholarship. It's not modifying the adjective academic. All right. So let's compare it with number 4 and number 5. Maria told us many funny stories about her childhood. So like number 1, we know that her is possessive adjective, modifying childhood. And we know that funny is modifying stories. So what about many? Like sentence number 3, it is also modifying stories, not modifying funny. So that makes it an adjective as well. What about number 5? The dark, damp cave was very unpleasant. So we know that unpleasant is an adjective because it comes after the linking verb was, the past tense of be verb, and it is modifying the subject cave. And we also know that dark and damp are modifying the noun cave. So they're all adjectives. So we don't have adverbs in these 3 sentences. But now, my question is, how come for number 3 and 4, I don't have comma separating the 2 adjectives, full and academic, many and funny, but in sentence number 5, there is a comma between dark and damp. So we now have to address what we call the royal order of adjectives. So you can see here, what is the order? We first start with the determiner. So determiner would be words like the possessive adjectives or the articles and the, and possessive adjectives would be my, your, his, her, apostrophe s. Then we move on to the quantity, which is how many, and then the opinion, right? What would be an opinion? Oh, Mary is a beautiful woman. Beautiful would be your opinion because that is subjective. And then we move on to size, like big, small, large, tiny. Age would be young, old, and shape. Is it round? Is it triangular? Is it square? And color, and then material. Is it made of wood? Is it made of iron? Which is very similar to a qualifier. All right, so you can see here, full and academic, they are words of different order, right? So we can see that full would be talking about quantity, that is amount, whereas academic, it would be the qualifier, right? Talking about the quality of the scholarship, what it's made of. So that is why we cannot reverse the order of these two adjectives. Same thing with many funny stories, right? So many would be talking about the number, the quantity, and funny is subjective, so that would be opinion. Whereas if you take a look at dark and damp, these two are talking about qualities, all right? So they are qualifiers and they're of the same order. So that means you can reverse them. You can say the damp, dark cave, and that would be fine, all right? So that is why when you can reverse the order of the adjectives, you want a comma here. Now, let's move on to the last page. So as you can see from the table here, this is the royal order of the adjectives. So the first example, two kind old Mexican women. So I wouldn't put comma between kind and old because they are two different orders. Same thing with three large blue denim jackets. So denim is a material like jeans, and new round wooden tables or beautiful campus libraries. So we can see in the second and the fourth, right? Usually these words are also used as noun, but in this case, they're nouns used to modify another noun, and that makes it an adjective function. And of course, the determiner would come before all these orders of adjectives. All right, so that's it for our level 1 modifiers, adjectives, and adverbs. I will see you next time.